I watched the series, which is on Netflix right now. And initially I was just
Wait.
gonna watch the series, and you were.
Stop talking. Your audio is faster than your mouth.
So what do I do?
Yeah, I don't.
What?
I don't know why. Mute again and then unmute, but do it on the Discord, not on your mic. Okay. So,
Hello?
yeah, it's. I don't know why. So
Am I
now
normal?
your mouth is moving faster than your audio.
Okay, I'm gonna exit and then come back in.
Okay. Hello.
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 Hold on.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay.
Am I normal now?
Yeah, you're normal now.
Am I normal now?
Yeah.
Okay, that was weird.
Yeah, that was weird. Okay, start from the Netflix series one.
Okay. Okay. Well, welcome to Page to Picture, where we answer the question, who done it? I'm your host, Kim.
And I am your host, Tiff. And today we are talking about A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. You can't see it, and that's fine. Here it is. Good Girl's Guide to Murder.
Quick spoiler warning. We'll be discussing, like you said, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder and revealing who the killer is. So if you don't want any spoilers, hit pause and come back later. But based on our reaction, you might just want to listen to the podcast because don't waste your time with the show or the book.
Listen,
right?
Okay, reading and watching shows are very subjective. Reading is more subjective than watching shows and stuff. But yeah, I feel like if you agree with most of the things that we talk about, this is probably one that you can just listen without reading or watching. Just saying.
Yeah.
So
let's get into it. So the series is on Netflix, and originally I was gonna watch it and you were just gonna read it.
Yeah.
I watched the series, which is on Netflix now, and originally our plan was I was gonna watch the series and you were gonna read the book, and then we were gonna discuss it. But do you want to explain what happened?
Yeah, so my experience with it was, okay, I just want to say first and foremost that this is my very first, like, what would you describe this genre? Like a murder mystery book, okay?
YA murder mystery.
Yeah, so this is my first ever, because I normally would read fantasy, contemporary romance, sci-fi, and like, I don't know, a little bit of like horror and like dark romance, right? That's like my realm right now. I'm trying to like dive into other stuff, so I was like excited about this one, A Murder Mystery, which is a book I've never read before. So I went into it super excited, and I only got to chapter 6 because I just don't like the way that it's written. I don't think that it's the story or the plot that I didn't like. It was just the way that it was written. It's like 6 pages worth of just dialogue, and I am not a fan of that. Like, I want detail. And so this book like completely turned me off with up to like the 6th chapter. I just could not.
Like you said, like earlier before we started, you showed it to me. So you said it's similar to like a paper, like a school paper.
So the way that the book is written is, Pippa is writing, obviously with how the plot is that she's writing like her essay, her high school essay on Andy's murder, and she's pretty much just trying to uncover it. So a lot of the books, oh god, you can't really see it very well, but a lot of the books, like the chapters in the book, is like her essay entries, and then it's like, this is like a screenshot of text messages, and then more essay, more essay. You even have her work cited, like at the bottom. You can't see it very well, but you have work cited. I don't need to know
Oh my
This isn't
gosh.
even real. This isn't even a real website. Why would you put "we're excited" in
You
there?
didn't know you were reading a student's actual paper that
Yeah,
she solved a real murder?
and then there's she like has, and then there's like normal like, you know, paragraphs
Right.
like a normal book, but even that is like 60% dialogue. This is all dialogue with
Now, when you
her
say
and her
dialogue,
like friends.
when you say dialogue, so for example, when we read books, it's like describing what they're doing, how they felt, things like that. And here you're saying she's just straight up talking.
Yeah, so this one it briefly talks about like she has like her inner monologue of like thoughts of what she's thinking and stuff, but most of the time it's just her talking about going to have an interview with someone, or
Mhm.
going to like telling someone that she's going to have an interview with someone, and then she has the interview with someone, which continues as the essay. And this one is an interview with Stanley, who is I think he was one of the officers or whatever that worked at the court hearing for Sal. And it's one, two, three pages worth. Okay. There's a description continuing her essay,
Wait, let
and
me
there's
see
a
that
fucking
picture.
map. There's a fucking
What
map
is it?
of the town. And like, don't get me wrong, I didn't mind that because I was like, okay, cool, but you really didn't have to give me this map if you were just going to describe it to me, which she did describe to me, and I didn't need the map. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I didn't need it. But like most of the book
It's
is
just
like
not
that.
your
Cup of tea, it's
it's just
not.
not the type of books that you read, which we knew going into this podcast that we were going to be reading,
This
watching stuff
is
that
just her and Ravi in her interview. This is one, okay, one,
Oh
two,
my
three,
god.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pages of her just talking with Ravi about it in her interview for her essay. And then it continues the essay. And then it ends the essay with person of interest. And then it goes to chapter 5. And then she goes, well, I'm going to go talk to Naomi. More dialogue with Naomi.
Oh
Literally more
gosh.
dialogue. Essay.
You're literally reading through and you're just trying to figure out who killed her with her.
Yeah, like if it was written differently if it wasn't written in the form of an essay, I would have probably liked it better. Like if it was just
Mhm.
Pippa explaining, and like
Mhm.
even if like obviously you're gonna have dialogue in there, especially if you're interviewing someone, but I don't need it in like I'm reading a screenplay. Like I don't need it like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I want to like when she's having the interview with Ravi, I wish she did it to where it's like, okay, Pippa asked this, and then Ravi like
Mm.
tensed up or something. Like she described
Yeah,
how
yeah, yeah,
Ravi
yeah.
like answered the question. I feel like that would have made it
Yeah.
so much better for me because I want to know how they're. Because when I'm reading that, I just think of them stale sitting in front of each other, and then they're just talking, and I'm like, no one has any emotion.
Well,
And then the
you
ending of it, I was like, I would not have got that out of this
well,
book.
so
I would
you
not.
even when you went okay, so you didn't finish the book, but so you jumped on the show, and
Mm-hmm.
when you texted me and you were like, "I didn't even know they were gonna be British."
Yeah,
Like, that's not what even you picked up in the book.
no. I should have picked it up when I saw that fucking map, right? But even then, like, I just didn't pick it up that they were British. And I don't know, maybe I just missed it when I was reading it, but I don't know if they mentioned that they were British at all. They had no British,
But
like, slang. Like, I've
slang,
read
yeah.
books where they're British and they have British
Mhm.
slang. Like, so, like, they'll say bruv
So
and
you know.
shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
not a single. She doesn't even
Um,
describe the town, like the houses that they live in and stuff. She just says, like,
yeah.
my house, Ravi's house. We go across, we go by Ravi's house, and it's like almost like abandoned, and people are like, which matched the show, right? The way that the house looked on
Right.
the show was how it was described in the book. But like, how was I supposed to know they lived in these fucking skinny ass houses that were stacked
Yeah.
next to each other in
Mhm.
freaking England or wherever the hell they were?
Mhm.
Like, I would not know. So
Um, Yeah, so like I said was saying earlier, like we knew coming into doing this podcast that we were going to be reading and watching books and shows that we're trying to like branch out of, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, we've never read the book or we've never watched the show or movie, or one of us has and one of us hasn't. So yeah, we're going to have the instances like now where it's like this book just wasn't the business. It
Yeah.
just it's not your type of reading. I'm very interested. I think it might be my type.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't buy it, so I was like, I'm not gonna. I watched it,
No, you can have my
but
book if you want.
me watching it, I struggled watching it.
Yeah, the first
Um,
episode was rough. Even the
it
second
kind of
episode
it
was rough.
dragged. Yeah, it didn't pick up until like the end of the second third. It kind of picked up, but even then, I was like, oh my god, like I had a hard time watching this show.
I feel
But
like
we'll
it could
talk
have been a
about it.
movie.
Yeah,
Could have
I
been
was
a
like, thank
movie.
goodness. I was like, thank goodness, it's only 6 episodes
Yeah, that's
because
what I was
I
gonna
don't know
say.
how I didn't know how they could make it go longer than 6.
Yeah. The only reason why I would think that they'd make it a series is if they did her other books.
Yeah.
Because I think, I don't know, I could be wrong, but are her other books in the same world? Like,
Yeah,
same
I think it's all her.
universe?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's all Holly Jackson, but like, I'm
No,
wondering if
I
the
don't know if
books
it's
are
all
like,
Pip.
well, no, not Pip, but I'm saying like in the same universe as like them.
I
You
think
know what I
so.
mean? Like the same,
Mhm.
kind of like how Anna does her books, where it's like all the same world, but just different people.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
Um
It
yeah,
is what it
it was
is.
a struggle. And here we are.
Here we are.
Okay. Go ahead with the facts about the book.
Okay, so some lovely facts about the book. The author is Holly Jackson, who is a British author. This is her debut novel. And it gained a lot of popularity among the young adult readers. Um, so I think this is one of the reasons why we did it, because it's super popular on Book Talk. I see it everywhere. And then also
Yeah.
because it was adapted into a show, it's obviously has to
Mhm.
be a popular book. So this was her first, which is pretty lucky for Holly. Which is also why I kind of want to say, like, no shame to Holly Jackson at all, because for this being her first novel and it being so popular and just like it just blew up, like that's
Mhm.
a huge win for her. But it's just not my cup of tea. So, um,
Yeah.
but the genre of the book falls under the young adult mystery thriller and crime genre. And it blends classic whodunit elements with like the contemporary team. So it's kind of
And
like Clue, but
I
now.
love a good whodunit. Like
Mhm.
anything whodunit, I love it. I will watch it. I will read it. I love whodunits
Yeah.
because I like trying to figure out who done it, who
Yeah.
did it. But yeah,
And
this one was a struggle.
the endings are always so good with the whodunits. Like Knives Out, that
Yeah.
was really good. That was a really good whodunit.
Yeah. The Knives Out one, and then also the oh my god, I love this one.
What's the train one?
Murder on the Orient
Yeah,
Express,
that one's
all
good.
those
Hmm.
ones, love it.
They're so good.
Even Murder, what is it? Murder in the Building. Have you watched that show
With
with
Selena
Selena
Gomez,
Gomez?
I have not.
So good.
Yeah,
That's a good whodunit.
I heard it was really
Series.
good. My
It's very good.
friend tells me to watch it, so
You should.
yeah.
It's easy to watch too. It's like funny. It's
Yeah.
good.
Um, and so the plot of this story is that it revolves around a 17-year-old girl named Pip. It's
Mhm.
Amobi, whatever. We call her Pippa.
Yeah.
So she investigates a local murder for her high school. It's a capstone
Fun.
project, which is that probably should have been my first clue as it being a British thing, but she uses the local murder that had happened for her project. And so it happened like 5 years ago from when she started the project, right?
So it was a murder that
Mhm.
happened 5 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
So it follows pretty much the investigation follows a girl named Andy Bell. And she was murdered, and the story goes Andy was murdered by her boyfriend Sal Singh,
Mhm.
and Sal was accused of the crime, and he was pretty much they pretty much closed the case saying yes, he did it. But Sal was also found unalived
Mhm.
in the forest. And so that's why they were like, okay, yeah, the case is closed. It definitely was him.
Yeah.
Apparently Sal like sent a text message to his dad saying, yes, I did it. And then he was found later no longer breathing. So,
Yeah.
but Pip believes that there is way more to the story than just a angry boyfriend killing his girlfriend. And so she just tries to uncover the truth, and she just kind of goes down this rabbit hole of finding out what happened. And it's, I will say the plot is very good. The plot is good.
Yeah.
I liked it, and I like the twist at the end, but yeah, we're not going to keep
I
going
know.
about how I feel about it.
Yeah.
So the novel is told through a mix of traditional narrative, interview transcripts, Pip's
Mm-hmm.
project log entries, emails, maps, a whole bunch of stuff. As I've shown, earlier.
Yeah.
And it does give you a more interactive reading experience, and it kind of puts you in Pippa's shoes when you're
Yeah.
reading it, because it's like you're literally with her and stuff. But yeah, so that's really the format of how the story is written. And the book explores themes like social justice, the power of media and bias, the impact of crime on small communities, and coming of age. This was a New York Times bestseller, and it received
So
several
crazy.
accolades.
So crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Including being shortlisted for British Book Awards and winning the 2020 YA Book Prize, which is wild.
Maybe it's really meant for YA.
Well, I read
Like
YA.
I know, but like I don't know. I don't know.
It's honestly, it is a good intro book, I would say, for young adult readers, like
Mm-hmm.
literally like 16, 17-year-old kids who are
Yeah.
just getting into reading that want to read crime, like murder, mystery,
Mm-hmm.
thriller books.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good intro
Mm-hmm.
to it. I feel
I
like
think it's
that's
good
not
too for their
my.
like it's good for their like what is it? Not them specific, but like if you're someone who can't deal with so much detail, like trying to envision it all, like it's
Mhm.
just very like boom boom boom. I think
Yeah.
that's a good, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes
So,
sense. Um
yeah.
so the series is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which is the first of the trilogy. So it's a good what is it? Good Girl's Guide to Murder first, and
Mhm.
then Good Girl Bad Blood, which was released in
Mhm.
2020, and then As Good as Dead, which is released in 2021.
Yes.
So yeah.
And those are the only 3? She didn't write any more after that?
I think she
Or is
wrote
she writing
another
more?
one. No, it's not part of the trilogy, but it is a book that she has
Bro.
released, yeah. And then there's Five Survive. Oh, The Reappearance of Rachel Price. That was her most recent one, I believe. That
Okay,
one.
but as far as like the Good Girls Guy, like that's the end. It's
Mm-hmm.
the 3,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so facts about the show. The release date was very recent, July 1st, 2024. It was produced for BBC Three and Netflix, which
Mm-hmm.
makes sense, BBC. There are 6 45-minute episodes.
Long
I
episodes.
was fine with just the 6. They could have probably done in 30 minutes, but
Yeah.
a run through of the cast. You have Emma Myers as Pip. She is known for her roles as Enid Sinclair in the TV series Wednesday, which
Yeah.
is like crazy.
She looks different.
Um, yeah, she is also Cece in Family Switch, and then she's also gonna star in a Minecraft movie, like
Oh,
the main.
cool.
Yeah. When I was watching the series, Ezra was like looking at it with me, and he was like, "Who is that girl?" I was like, "I don't know." And he was like, "No, she's gonna be in the Minecraft movie." And so he's the one who like credited. He
Oh
knew.
my
I
god.
was
He
like,
knew for
okay,
sure.
yeah. You have okay, I think it's Zayn.
Mm-hmm.
Zayn Iqbal's Ravi. This is only his like 3rd acting gig, so he's
Yeah.
kind of like new.
Mm-hmm.
He plays the brother of Sal.
Yep.
You have Henry Ashton as Max Hastings. He is a friend of Sal, and he is Lord Stan Dudley in My Lady Jane.
He is.
You like that show, right?
I love that show. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, when we do our picks, that's my pick. I already thought about it when I was watching the show. I was like, "Oh, I
What
want
are
to
you talking
watch
about?
My Lady Jane again."
Wow.
So I was
Okay,
like, "I'm
okay.
gonna do that as my pick because I want to read that
Okay.
book, and I love that show. It's so good."
Okay, I gotta start on it then.
Yeah, it's funny.
And then you have Matthew Baton as Elliot Ward. He is in Murder is Easy, Ghost, and Wonka. The
Wow.
new Wonka.
Yeah.
Yeah. He plays the father of two of the daughters, and he's also their English teacher.
Okay.
And then you have India Lily Davies as Annie Bell,
Mhm.
and she was in an episode of Bridgerton as
Yeah.
Sasha.
Sasha. I knew she looked familiar.
Ooh, who is Sasha?
She's one of the random girls that I think she's having. It's um Eloise and
She.
Cressida, and she's like in the ton. She's one of those girls, I think. I don't think she's the one that dances with Benedict,
Oh,
but she's one of the ones that like has her flirting
one
moments with
with
Colin.
Colin.
Yeah.
I have to look back and look.
Yeah, you have
Okay.
to rewatch it.
And then you have Rahul Patney as Sal. He is the boyfriend of Andy, and he was in The Holy Yield and Casualty. And then there's a bunch of other people too, but these are kind of like your mains.
The mains, yeah.
Yeah. Production, it was directed by Dolly Wells and written by Poppy Kogan. You mentioned the plot closely follows the novel storyline with Pip's investigation of a 5-year-old murder. The theme, same mystery, suspense, small town crime, and social justice.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do this podcast a little differently. Since we both watched the show, and you only read up to chapter 6 of the book,
Yeah.
we're gonna end up going through each episode and just kind of doing like a rundown of what happens and then our thoughts about it. But you also did some like research
Yes.
because while you were watching the show, yeah.
I took
So
notes.
you do have like,
I have a
notes.
lot of the differences. And then I have like 2 similarities noted on here.
Okay.
But yeah, I did a lot of research on it. So
Yeah. So you just jump in when you have something from what I say in the episode, okay?
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna start with episode 1. So Pippa, who is known as Pip, is entering her final year of secondary school. And for her final year project, she decides to investigate the disappearance of Andy Bell in 2019, 5 years earlier. A popular student, Andy was dating classmate Sal when she had disappeared, with the police suspecting him of being responsible for her murder. It's always like the boyfriend did it, right? But before he could get charged, so before he actually got charged, Sal allegedly confessed to unaliving Andy and then took his own life. So like he didn't in the show, he didn't like fully get charged, like, or before he could even go through the process, he like just admitted it.
He never made it to the trial. He only made it to questioning,
Right.
and then that was
And
it.
yes. However, Pip believes Sal is innocent and is determined to find out the truth. And we know she feels like he's innocent because like they have constant flashback of her, younger her, in the hallway. Andy walking by crying, telling her like, "Don't tell anybody I'm coming. I'm over here." And then Sal like walked right behind it and was like, "Where's Andy? I'm not gonna say anything. Like I just want to talk to her." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, she thinks he's like so nice.
In the book, there's actually more of
Details.
no, it's a deeper flashback with Pip and Sal. So in the book, Sal is part of a friend group. So okay, so Pip's best friend, I can't remember her name. Whatever. She Kara, right?
Kara, yeah.
Okay, so her and Pip are best friends, and then Kara's sister is
Naomi.
in the friend group with Sal. So every time that Pip would hang out with Kara, Sal would be there with Naomi and all of his friends, Max and whoever. And so Pip has a conversation with Ravi because Ravi's like, "Why would you want to write about this?" Or like in her interview with him, he's like, she's like, "Can you describe Sal to me?" And then he describes her, and then I think Ravi asks Pip, like why do you care so much about Sal? And she's like, "Well, Sal taught me a lot of things growing up. Like, he taught me how to cook. He taught me, like, just a bunch of little things. And so she's like, so Sal
Hey, that's
is such a, yeah. She's like,
cute.
so Sal is someone that I looked up to growing up. And so I feel like it wasn't on brand for him to be angry and to hurt someone in the way that people are assuming that he hurt someone. And so that's kind of why Ravi was like, okay, then I'll interview you. Because in the
Yeah.
show, like, he
She
was
like runs
not,
up. She like runs up to him and is
yeah.
like, I'm walking this too.
That's a difference, and I have that. Okay, so in the book, right, in the first episode, she's like, you know, getting her
Yeah.
shit together. So
Mhm.
she is trying to get all these people to talk to her about the murders, and people are so like standoffish in the show. They're like,
Yeah.
no, we don't want to talk to you. And then, later
Yeah.
on,
Even her
people,
mom. Her mom's like, don't interview
yeah,
them. Don't talk to them.
but like, like later on, people are like, they come around and they're like, okay, I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
Ravi
Yeah.
was one of those people that was like, I don't want to talk to you, like in the show. He was like
Mhm.
mad. But in the book, she actually goes to the house. He opens the door and she shows him like her essay, like her
Mhm. To
thesis.
show what she's
She's
doing.
like,
Yeah.
I'm doing my essay on Andy's murder and I want to interview you about it because I don't think Sal did it. And then he was like open to talking to her about it. He was like, okay. Like, he wasn't standoffish at all. He was, like, a little
Yeah.
reserved because he's like, I don't understand why you want to do this. You should just leave my family alone. And she's like,
Mhm.
no, but, like, I really feel like I should do this because I don't think Sal did it.
He did it.
Or
Yeah.
pretty much she pretty much said, like, I feel like there's more to the story than what we were told, and I want to be able to
Mhm.
tell his story or whatever. So then that's when Ravi was like, okay. But in the show, she just, like, runs up to him
Where
like it was nobody's
yeah.
business. And I was
And
like,
he's like, what?
bitch.
Um, there was like, I wish there was more of like a connection, a spark between her and Ravi. I was like,
I didn't understand that ending. I was
we'll
like,
talk. Okay, we'll talk about the end.
yeah,
'Cause
we'll
I
talk
have
about
something
that
to
because
say about it.
I didn't.
I was like, what? What?
I was like,
What's
first of
happening?
all, isn't he
I was
older?
like, I literally was like, I thought maybe like her and Max.
I know. I was like, this is
Max was down.
awkward. I know. I was like, this is really awkward, but okay.
Okay, so yes. So she believes Sal's innocent and is determined to find the truth. I wish I had that because you can't really, besides that little like constant flashback, and only her saying like Sal has always been nice to me. Like that's it. You're just like they've always been nice to you. But like why? You know what I mean? I wish there was
hmm
more. Unless there was and I just missed it, but I wish there was more.
If they had done the flashbacks where it was like as time went on, every flashback would be a different moment between Pippa and Sal. It would
Yes.
have made it more like not emotional, but like I would have been more
Makes sense.
attached because then it's like, okay, I
Yeah, there would have
understand
been a
now why
connection.
she feels this way and why
Yeah.
she really wants to write this story. But like
Mhm.
we'll talk about when we get to the ending,
Okay.
the last episode, because I have a note on that and I was like,
Yeah. Okay.
bitch.
Okay.
So,
So after so she goes and tries to talk to Ravi, who is Sal's brother, and he's just pretty like, leave us alone. We're moving up past it. Like,
mhm,
leave it alone. She begins interviewing Sal's friend Naomi Ward, who is also her best friend's older sister. So
mhm.
she's hanging out with her friends and she's like talking about Naomi, and the sister's like, stop, don't ask her, like, don't question her, leave it be. And she does it anyway. Everything she does, she just does it anyway.
Yeah,
And there's like
which
there's one scene, and I think it's like episode 5 that she does something, and I was like, you just like go and just do whatever you want to. I'll tell you.
if it's the scene that I am also thinking of, then yeah. That's
Is it the printer?
no.
Okay. So
No,
I'll
that
find it.
what she said. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I was like,
Okay.
bitch.
And her friends don't care. Her friends don't pay attention. Like,
Nope.
what are you doing here?
They're like, anyways.
Anyway. Oh my god.
I know.
I'd be like, what are you doing here? You can't be in here.
Yeah.
So
she
go
interviews
ahead.
Naomi in the first episode, and Naomi in the book, she wasn't even interviewed until she was someone talked to her about Naomi, and then she goes, okay, maybe I should interview her, but then her best friend was like, no, don't do it. And
And
then
then she did
as
it.
far as I gotten, she hasn't. But I think she doesn't do that till,
Did
like,
she
later. She interviews
did
people
she
before that.
did she interview Max before she interviewed Naomi in the book?
I don't know. I haven't gotten to Max the only interview that I got was
Was
a
Robbie?
reporter, Ravi, and the one of the officers that worked on Sal's case.
Not the officer, not Dan.
No, it was Stanley.
There's not even a Stanley in the show.
I know.
Okay. So, she begins her investigation by interviewing Naomi, the older sister of Pip's best friend Kara, whose father Elliot is an English teacher at their school. Naomi reveals that Sal did have an alibi for the night of Andy's disappearance. And when she said that, I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was so confused. I was like, why? I don't get it. Like, did he not say his alibi? Like, I was so confused. Like, this first episode, I watched it twice. Like, I was literally confused. I felt like it just went one ear out the other, and I was like, I need to rewatch the episode.
Yeah. The alibi thing was confusing too for me because in the book, Pip says it in her essay that Sal has an alibi. He left the house at 12 and went home. And then in the interview that she had with I think it was the officer. She had the interview with the officer, and he goes, Sal's friends, all of them came at the same time and all said that they were told by Sal to lie about his alibi. And I was like,
beginning of the book already?
Yeah, in the beginning of the book they talk about it.
Dang.
He goes, you don't know like what you're talking about, Pip. And she goes,
yeah,
I do, because he had an alibi. And he goes, no, he didn't have an alibi. His alibi was a lie because he told his friends to lie for him. And they did. And so then they came forward and said that they actually lied, and he left at 10 o'clock or whatever. And I was like, what the fuck? Weird. I feel like that.
I didn't understand. I was like really confused. So I was like, okay, whatever. I was like, they might talk about it more later. That's all I left it at. I was like, they might talk about it more later, which they do.
Yeah.
So following an interview with Sal's friend, Max Hastings, so she gets his job with her friend Kara at the Hastings whatever, and they're dressed up as these stars.
Yeah,
it's like these stars. And her goal is to interview Max Hastings, who is Naomi and Sal's friend, and she's trying to get more information. So he pretty much already gives off creeper vibes. He's like, I'll answer every question when you take a shot. And she's just like,
yeah, he's a creeper.
Yeah, I was like, wait, does he like Pippa? That's what I thought. I was like, does he like Pip?
He gives off have you seen the OC? They're not the OC, Gossip Girl.
Yeah,
the guy with the bushy eyebrows. He gives off those vibes. Bushy
he wishes.
What's his name? He says his name in every episode, and I can't even remember his name.
I'm Chuck Bass.
Yeah, there you go. That's him. He gives off the same vibes as him.
He wishes he was Chuck Bass. Okay.
So true.
I'm Chuck Bass.
Every episode.
Yeah. Okay, so she interviews Max Hastings, and Max pretty much tells Naomi tells Pip no, Naomi's lying.
Yeah.
About the alibi, and I was like, okay. I don't understand this alibi, but okay.
They were so gung-ho on it the first episode. I was
and I was like, but what is the alibi? What was, you know what I mean? I was like, what was the alibi? So she goes back to Ravi, and she's like, I believe Sal is innocent. This isn't making sense. And Ravi shows Pip Sal's phone and was like, look, this is the text messages. So she's looking at it, and she's like, this isn't him, because look at how he types his messages before, and look at this last one. It's completely different. And I will tell you, when that ended, and it ended like that, I was like, okay.
Yeah. It ended on
Where
like
we
a
go-
cliffhanger because you're like,
I was
okay,
like,
now I want to know where they go with this.
okay, here we
Yeah.
go. Like, who is it?
They're picking it up.
Yeah, but then episode 2 started. Like, this is so
And then they
boring.
dropped it again. They dropped it. They picked it
They
up
picked
and
it
they
up.
just let it go. They just let it
Oh
go.
my gosh. Okay, so episode 2, now working with Ravi, Pip turns her attention to Andy's 2 best friends, Emma and Nat.
Mhm.
And interviewing them, she finds out from Emma that Andy had a secret older boyfriend, right? Like, her friends just be like telling her shit now.
I
Like,
know.
oh, did you know this about Andy Bell? What the
And
fuck?
everyone's like,
Haters.
she's
Yeah.
dead. Have some
Yeah.
respect.
She's like, no. So they found, and she finds out that Andy had a secret older boyfriend, and I thought, okay, let me finish it first.
Okay.
So, and then there's like a break where she goes on this like camping trip. Pip,
Yeah.
she's like going on this camping trip with her friend, and during the trip, she gets like an anonymous like letter in her sleeping bag that tells her to stop digging. And I thought it was like somebody in her friend group.
Yeah. Some random
Like,
person.
I don't know who you thought. Well, I thought it was like one of those people. Like, they're part of it.
No, I thought it was
Like,
slipped in her. I thought it was
when they
slipped in
ran
her
away?
bag when they left. Yeah.
I didn't. I thought like one of her friends put it in there. Like,
I
it's
think
one of her
that's
friends.
why they. When I saw that, I thought it was someone that slipped it like in there before they left. Because I was like, how obvious do you guys have to make it to be like one of the friends that were there did it?
Oh, they got me.
And it adds to like the. Honestly, that's a good
Makes you, like,
play on
it
the
makes you
show. Yeah, it
question.
adds the suspense of like, okay, maybe someone here did it, or someone
Well,
here is like threatening me,
I thought it was from Kara, because like how Pip was asking her sister, and I thought Kara maybe did it because she was like, "Stop talking to my sister." And then at the party, she was like arguing with Pip, like, "Why won't you just drop?" Remember, she's
Yeah.
like, "Just drop it." Like, why did you talk to Naomi? So I thought maybe she just did it to make Pip stop.
Yeah.
Which, and I got like total lesbian vibe.
Yeah, like she loves
Well, I know
Pip,
Kara
but Pip doesn't.
sure. Yeah. I thought they were gonna be together. It was
That's
weird.
what
Not weird, like it's not. It's weird that
it was just a weird vibe.
I thought they were gonna be together
because
at the end of it.
Because of how Kara was. She was a
Yeah, and
little
then Pip was like, well, and then like Pip was like hurt that like she didn't know that Kara liked this girl.
Yeah.
So I thought she was like jealous. I don't know. I thought
they could have.
Yeah, maybe in an alternate universe.
Yeah, in another world.
So during the trip she gets this no, and then she's kind of like freaked out by it, and Pip and Ravi then jump onto like the social media aspect. They're back to investigating, and Ravi's like, these photos are wrong. So like Pip has like a huge wall, and that's where she has her like murder investigation board, right?
She looks like Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny. Yeah.
And I was like, dude, is her board like a chalkboard, like her wall?
Yeah, isn't that cool?
It's really cool.
I
Like
love
her
it.
whole wall is a chalkboard. So Ravi is like, this isn't right. This is the order of her Instagram post with her friends. And then it's found out that like Andy and Nat had a falling out because like Andy leaked nude photos of Nat. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, wait, who's Nat? That's literally, I was like, who's Nat?
Yeah. So in the book, it's so weird because in the book, so throughout the show, Andy's portrayed as like
a mean
really
girl?
great. No, not really, but like she's like a nice. In the show, she's portrayed as like a nice girl and
popular.
She's very popular, very friendly. Everyone loves her. But in the book, she's described as a fucking bully. Like she bullies kids at school. She's constantly like giving them hell. And so Nat is a girl in the book that was bullied by Andy because Andy thought that Nat looked just like her. and Andy was like
Jealous.
threatened, by her.
Oh
And so
my God.
in the book, Andy pretended to be some guy from their school, was texting Nat, and then was like, send me like some noodles.
Oh, yeah.
And then so Nat sent it to her, and Andy posted it out there. But in the show, it's like some secret, like nobody knows that Andy was the one that did that. But Andy, in the book, apparently Andy's like, I did that shit. And
well, she owns it.
yeah, like she was like, and what of it? Like she's so like intense.
That is so crazy. That is so different.
In the book, she's so like completely different than what she is in the show. Yeah.
In the show, we're more surprised as the episodes go on. You get more I guess she really is, but like in the show, you're more surprised by things about Andy.
Yeah.
And I think even Pip is surprised. You know what I mean? Because she didn't see Andy as that type, I guess, based on her flashbacks. So I feel like during the show, we're unraveling the true Andy. You know what I mean? But yeah, the whole thing with like where her and Rav pretended to text her, and then they're like sitting there waiting for her. And she's like, "Hey, I'm waiting for somebody." There's like, first, there's nobody there. It's just them two,
Literally.
and they're like, "Yeah," they're like, "It's us," and she's like, "Who are you?"
Yeah, like bitch, I'm waiting for someone.
Yeah. She's like, "I can't talk right now. I'm waiting for someone," and they're like, "Yeah, it's us." It's like, yeah, who else? There's nobody here at this train station.
Literally no one. Yeah, why else would they be at the fucking train station?
Like, anyway. And she's pretty much saying, like, you did it. You did it because you were mad that Andy leaked the news. And she was just kind of like, I loved Andy. She's like, I loved her.
She said,
like,
I would send her noodles any day.
Yeah. And so then they're just kind of like, okay, like what? And then they tell her like, oh, you like she had a thing with Max Hastings.
Mm-hmm.
So then fucking Pip just fucking goes to Max's house.
Yeah.
Like, his parents open the door and she's like, I'm here to see Max. And they're like, he's upstairs. Like, girl, you're so unhinged. You just do whatever you want to do.
She really
does. She goes to his house. She goes up to his room. He's taking a shower, and she just starts like digging through like all his shit. And he has like a picture frame of like him and his friends, and like behind the picture frame is not a nude, but like her and her like bra and underwear of Andy, like a selfie picture, right? So right away, Pip is like, oh my God, it's him. Like, he did it. He's the older boyfriend, or he's the older guy, like all this stuff. And then like Max like comes out. I've been reading too much smut books because I was like, what's about to go down right now?
You're like, this is a young adult.
In my smut universe, this
would have been different. This would have been really different. She would have been kissing Max.
Yeah, even like, you like that picture? Like,
you wish that was you, huh?
Yeah, like, let's take a picture now. Yeah. And she's just pretty much like, it's you. You did it. And why do you have a picture of her? And he's like, yeah, I have a picture of her, but it's not because I was hooking up with her. It's because like I need it for other.
For what?
He needed it for other reasons.
Yeah.
What reasons? I was like,
weird stuff.
I was like, you have to print it out? What?
I know. You have phones. What are you old? He's hella old school.
It's printed out and it's behind a picture of him and his friends.
I know. So, don't be fucking weird.
So weird.
He's so weird.
And Pip is like confused. She's like, okay, what? He's like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like she doesn't think about it. She just does, right? And so when she goes back to talk to Max, he's like, his relationship with Andy wasn't romantic, but instead, Andy was a drug dealer.
Yeah.
I was like,
in the book,
what?
that's the same. Andy is a drug dealer, but in the book, Andy's a drug dealer because she just wants to fucking deal drugs. Like, that's her thing. She just wants to do it.
That's the reason.
But in the show, she wants to do it because she wants to, like, run away from home. Like, she wants to get enough money. Out. Yeah. But in the book,
they had to give her purpose in the show.
In the book, she's a drug dealer because she just wanted to be that bitch. That's what it was.
She's trying so hard to be Regina George, and she's so not Regina George. She really
wanted it so bad. She said, I'm a bully, I'm a catfish, and I'm a drug dealer. Like, fuck all y'all.
What is Regina George's song? Have you seen it? The Mean Girls
play?
Yeah, but you know how they redid the movie?
No.
Oh. Regina George has like a song. She's like, I'm Regina George.
Oh my god.
Yeah, to see it.
That's literally her. That's Andy.
So Andy, oh yeah, so he's like, Andy's my drug dealer, and I was like,
and Pip was like,
what? Like, and then he's pretty much like, it's at the calamity parties. I was like, what the fuck is a calamity party? I was like, okay.
My face that entire episode was like shocked. Like, I was like,
this. I was like, huh? What?
I was like, it was very drugs.
Like, throughout the entire episode 2 was very slow up until the part where like she goes to Max Hastings' house, and then I was like, ooh, and then it ended. I was like, I get with the cliffhanger. Like, fucking good episode 3.
That's how they get you. Is they ended on cliffhanger, and then you're like, damn it. Okay, I have to watch it.
Yeah. Oh, wait. At this point, okay, so in episode 2, I forgot to mention. So when she's at the party and she's working it and she's like drunk from all her shots, there's like that guy who was like talking to her. Remember? He's like, you gotta mind your business. Or, I don't know what he says, but he like comes up behind her and is like talking to her.
He's like whispering in her ear.
And I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And then it comes out to be like, that's the cop.
Yeah.
Who was part of the murder investigation and is Nat's brother.
Mm-hmm.
And right away I was like, okay, he's the killer.
That's like, him. That's the guy.
He's the killer. That's what my mind said. Going to episode 3, I was like, he's the killer. Okay, cool. So episode 3.
You're like, this is where they reveal it.
I was like, I knew it. Who done it? I knew it. So episode 3, Pip decides she has to track down the drug dealer Andy was dealing for.
Which is fucking crazy.
So she has to find the calamity party, and like I love how her and her friends are at the library and they're like, and go, and they're just like searching for hints of this calamity party, and then there's that guy she goes up to and she's like, I love that video.
Yeah.
The dance video.
The show is so fucking weird.
And he's like, kill. And she's like, you know, there's an algorithm to like make you get more viewers. Let me show you. And she's like starts doing it. I was like, oh my god.
So dumb.
She's so weird.
I love it.
And so she finds out where the calamity party is, and it's like an infamous secret teen party full of drugs and sex. It's literally in the middle of the woods in like a cave.
It's like Skins. Have you seen the show Skins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. I was like, whoa, this is like a rave.
Yeah.
So she goes to the party with her friends Cara and Lauren, and she finds the drug dealer. So like she goes and they find this like group playing like Spin the Bottle.
Which is such a thing to do at a fucking drug sex party.
She finds this group playing Spin the Bottle, and one of the guys is like literally doing drugs there. And they're like, no, like Pip is like, we'll play. And like sits and like
okay. Anything to help my friend.
Yeah, and like spins and lands on her, and the guy was like, okay, cool, let's go. And they have to like go behind this tarp, and he's like ready to do it with her. And she's like, I need a little something to get me going. Where did you get your drugs? Like, who's your drug dealer?
She's so fucking like, she's so ballsy. It's amazing how she's gotten this far.
Crazy.
Like,
and he's like, I'll take you to him. He's here, I'll take
just
you.
So easy. Like, okay. I was like, bitch, are you a cop? Like,
follow me to this cave of wonder. Like, walking through this whole section.
So fucking
She
wild.
she finds the drug dealer who is like creepy as fuck also.
Yes.
And he's like, "You see this scar?" I, somebody threw like a hot what is a hot tea or
Hot
like
tea.
I was like, "What the
Like,
fuck?" I love when she walks in, she's like, "Excuse me."
yeah.
And she like sits and she's like, "Was Andy selling drugs?"
Just so straight up. She has no fucking filter. She doesn't give a
He was just
fuck.
like he's just like, "Yeah."
I know. Like, who's running this? These
Yeah.
are supposed
She's
to
like, "I have
be.
she's like, "I have $60. I'll pay what that guy owes you per question."
Oh
Was
my
Andy selling
god.
drugs? And so then he later reveals that Andy had kept a secret burner phone, as drug
Mhm.
dealers do,
Yep.
along with the drug, and stashed it in like a stuffed rabbit.
Yeah. Such a kid
And
thing to
she's
do.
like, yeah, and she's pretty much like, okay, cool, this is exactly what I needed. Thank you. And she leaves. Not before that guy tries to like literally like take advantage of her.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, what?
You obviously know why she was
And
there. Why are we going
yeah,
to continue to try?
and she gets saved by like a party goer who we eventually see later on. And I didn't really know, but now when I finish the series, I'm like, oh, it makes sense. She's just like, be careful of like what you people put in your drinks. Like,
Hmm.
one of my friends got like, this happened to her, and she just like she just leaves.
Yeah.
And after the party, she gets like a threatening text message. Oh wait,
Mhm.
first of all, she couldn't find her friends, and she just like ended up walking home
Yeah.
by herself.
Which is like, Andy died like that.
Literally, like, what? You're just
Yeah.
gonna walk by yourself?
Like,
And like,
bitch.
what's up with what's up with her younger brother? Like, he's always in bed.
I don't know what his deal is.
I was like,
Are you
is he
okay?
sick?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's always in bed.
In the book, I know he's brought up in one of these conversations. He's just some regular fucking kid. I think
Yeah.
he hold on.
When he's not in bed, it was his birthday party. That was it.
Yeah,
That was it.
so in the beginning when we first get introduced to her brother, she's like, "Josh, why is the dog wearing my shirt?" And then Josh is like running around the house laughing, like cackling
Not
is what it
even.
says.
Not even.
And he's like messing
Like
with
he's
the
a younger
kid.
brother.
Yeah, like a normal kid. And Josh and
Yeah.
the dad are like about to go do
No.
something. They're like on the way out, and that's when she says, like, I'm gonna go interview Robbie or
Yeah.
something.
No, he was like, whatever.
It's weird.
So she gets like, okay, so after the party, Pip receives a threatening text message that tells her pretty much like, stop investigating. Like, you're going too far. You
Hmm.
need to end it. And I thought, I was like, okay, it must be somebody at the calamity party.
Yeah, because they know that
They
she's
got-
there.
Yeah, they saw her talking to the drug dealers. And the next day, okay, so this is like where I got like super stressed out watching it. I was like stressed.
Yeah,
She just decides to like go to the house,
yeah.
Andy's house,
Breaks
wait for
in.
everybody to leave, break in, and like find the rabbit and the phone.
Yeah.
And like the whole break-in was so stressful.
Very
And then like
anxiety ridden. Like
Robbie
it
is like
just,
waiting. Yeah, he's like waiting, keep an eye, and then like he goes in there, and like when they hid in the closet, and I was like, oh my god. So they break into Andy's house, and they're almost caught by Andy's sister, Becca Bell,
hmm,
and Nat's brother, the policeman, Dan De Silva.
yeah.
And the policeman is like creepy vibes. I don't know
Fucking
about you.
weird.
Maybe creeper vibe. Oh my god, I love when they run out and they get to the car and they drive off as if like the policeman like didn't see them
Yeah.
or
As if
doesn't
nothing
know the
happened.
car.
Yeah, like he could have
He's like
just
standing there.
a really bad police
Like, what?
officer.
Oh my god. I really thought it was the police officer who did it at this point.
um, I didn't think it was the police officer. I thought it was I think it was, well, because when I read the book at first, I thought it was Naomi, because they said
Yeah.
in the book that Naomi was jealous of Andy because of how close
Mhm.
Naomi was with Sal. And I was like, there it is, the jealous fucking psychopath that wants to have the guy for her.
I would have seen it. I would have seen it.
And
Naomi
then,
looks like she was that type.
she does. And then the cop guy, I didn't think it was him because he is
That's
too
too
much.
obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was like, I don't know who did it. Maybe Sal really did do it.
There was a small point where I thought even Ravi did it.
Oh my god. I never thought that at all.
I was like, did Ravi do it? And he's like trying to like take her, put her in different directions.
Oh yeah, like he's trying to like steer her
like
off.
maybe I was like, did he like Andy?
Ew.
But yeah,
Is he the older guy?
He's the younger.
I know. That's why I was like, is he the older guy?
So, okay, episode 4. So now we're at the point I'm like, okay, it's starting to pick up. Like, who's the murderer? I think the calamity scene really like picked it up.
Yeah.
So going through the stuffed rabbit they stole from Annie's house, Pip and Ravi find a list of Annie's customers written out in code. Yeah. Pretty much like her drug dealing ledger.
Yeah.
And later that day, she discovers that the customer list was written on a piece of paper from the Ivy House Hotel. So, in Pip fashion, she decides to
just go straight,
go to the hotel,
straight there. Doesn't have any.
Yeah, she goes to the hotel, and when she's there, she's like in the bathroom. In the bathroom, and she's like taking a selfie. Do you remember? She's like taking a selfie, and then Ravi's like, okay, that's cute. And she's like, no, look. She's like, look, this is the tile that Andy took her selfie in with Max's thing. And I was like,
take a picture. She could have just pulled up the original Andy photo and been like, look. But instead she said, look at me.
Is this right? Is this the right?
Do you think this is the angle?
She like smiled. She like smiled in her selfie.
I know, like you didn't have to do all that.
Okay. Hey.
Anyways.
So she was like, okay, so for sure Andy was here in this exact room. And then she's determined to find out who her older boyfriend is, and in the log it says the pseudonyms Daisy Buchanan and Jay Gatsby for our readers, our book talk people. The Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
Love
it.
The Great Gatsby. We should do that one too.
I like that one. I'm a fan.
But you know what? I'm not a fan of. What's his name?
Tobey Maguire.
Yes. I just don't like. Sorry.
I hit my head on my mic. Right on my knob. It hit my eyeball.
I just don't like him.
He's not that bad.
Okay.
Anyways,
What's
going
not
on.
wild? What's not wild was this book and show.
Yeah.
Okay. So. So Pip attempts. Okay, so Pip has the burner phone, and she tries to call the number that's on the log.
Yeah.
So the log. So she tries to call a number, but it's like disconnected. So she's just like, I like how she saves the number on her phone in case that person
calls her back, and I'm like,
I was like, okay,
all right.
Or she's going to try calling again later.
Yeah.
And then on the next day, oh wait, is it at this point she sees her dad's name in the log? When she's looking at it, she's like, that's my dad's name. Dad? Do you remember?
I think so. I can't remember.
But I was like, what? The dad? I was like, why was the dad? And then I thought, like, is the dad... was the dad there with her?
Is the dad the older man?
What?
The older
man.
I
thought. The whole story with the dad and the mom of Pip was just, like, so irrelevant, I thought.
It was unnecessary. That's probably why I don't remember it, because I don't even...
I was like, no offense, but, like, I don't need your story.
Yeah. I want to know who killed Andy. And who's the boyfriend.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So... it's disconnected. Okay, so the next day she's going to school, and then the cop Dan like corners Pip, creeper vibes, revealing that he knows it was her who broke into the Bell House and pressured her to stop investigating. And then he shows her like a video of Sal at when he got arrested and he's like getting so aggressive and like throwing the chair in the investigation room, and he's like, look, see, he did it. Look how mad he is in this investigation room. And in my brain, I was like, what if he had been in there for like hours? You know what I mean? They're like getting him mad.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. And unsure of the meaning of the video, Pip wonders if Sal did commit the murder. So this is where she starts
Okay.
like, okay, go ahead, you got notes,
Yeah, I
girl?
have things about
Go
this.
ahead.
Okay, one
So
is
she's like
like,
doubting it.
yeah, so in the book, Pip stays consistent with how she feels about Sal's innocence. There was never
Mm,
a time where
a
she was like
doubt.
doubted. There was like maybe one or twice where she's like, well, maybe like this, but I still feel
Mhm.
like, you know what I mean? Like she didn't dwell too much on the doubt. She just was like, no, that can't be. I'm moving on, right?
Yeah.
But in the show, she has this whole ass fucking thing of of doubt.
Yeah.
Um, and she tells Robbie about it, the doubt,
Yeah.
and then
She's
Robbie's
like,
like, "Bitch, so you're just trying to." So he's because Robbie's pretty much like, "You're writing this story not because you feel like my brother should be, innocent, but you feel like this. If Sal's innocent, it'll help your conscience." And I was like,
yeah, because so like she literally feels throughout the show, hence the flashback, that like it's her fault that Andy died because in her flashback, Andy tells her like, "Don't tell anybody,"
"Yeah,
and then Robbie was like, "Pip, where is she? I must see her."
yeah,
And she's like, "She went in there,"
over there."
and so she thinks for 5 years that it's her fault,
Yeah.
like
Which is
she's the
fucking
reason.
crazy to me. I feel like they should not even have done that. Like I feel like she should
Yeah.
have stayed consistent. That whole thing was just so annoying to me when I watched it. And then I
Mhm.
looked it up online and I
Mhm.
went to the pages in the book and I never
Mhm.
saw that conversation at all. And I was like, yeah, because that shit don't make sense. Okay, like
Yeah, it
why?
doesn't.
And then when they're going over the video of Sal getting murdered, or not Sal getting murdered, but Andy getting murdered and he's being
Mm,
investigated.
yeah.
I think it says somewhere in the book, I had read it earlier this morning. It's somewhere in the book it's like Pip says Sal doesn't tell the cops that she's dealing drugs because he thinks that she's still alive, and if she's still alive then the cops will charge her with dealing drugs. So that's why Sal's so secretive in the interviews, and he gets frustrated because he can't say much because he thinks still that Andy is alive.
That's in the book?
I think that's what Pip is trying to like. That's like a theory that Pip
That's her
had.
2 and 2?
Yeah. So she
That
had like a
makes
theory.
sense.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, yeah. So when you watch the show and you're seeing him get all frustrated, they portray him to be like this like fucking mean ass guy, and I was like,
Yeah. Yeah, in my head, I was
what?
like, "Oh, maybe he got there so they've had him in there for, like,
So
hours,
long.
and then he's, like, mentally, like, breaking," you know what I
Hmm.
mean? But he shows it to her, and she's just like, "Mhm, maybe he did do it." Like, what the fuck? You just
Bitch, like off of
what are
that
you gonna write
alone,
what are you gonna write your paper about for
yeah,
episode 4?
like come
It's like,
on,
okay.
it irritated
And
me.
me too. Because I feel like if you're gonna go in on it, go 100% in on it that he did not do it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
she just is like almost like gave up.
Yeah.
So after an argument with Ravi, Pip returns to Kara's house where she's like, emotional. She doesn't know what to do. And Kara's like, come on, like help me give Naomi like a makeover. And this probably was weird to me because you're getting ready for a reunion, a 5-year high school reunion.
Yeah.
Isn't it 10 years? Like what? 5 years?
Yeah, it should be 10.
Like,
British people do it
and,
differently.
and you're telling me people don't see you're friends with the same people, honey. Like, the
There's
fuck?
no reunion. You guys would
You were
still
just
talk.
chilling with Max.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. So she's like helping her get ready, and Naomi pretty much tells Pip like you can watch. Wait, what do you remember? Like what was said to where Naomi decides like you can have my computer. Like, something was said, and then it made Naomi change her mind and was like, you could take my laptop. Do you know what was said?
No.
Like, Pip either says she stopped investigating, or she thinks Sal really did it, or like, because I think like Naomi is like, how is it going? And she's like, I'm not going to talk about it with you, or something. Something was said where Naomi was like, you should watch a movie on my laptop. Pip, only
Only
Pip. And
Pip.
like,
I think she.
look up, and look up like orangutan titties.
I think.
What did she say?
So stupid. I don't even fucking know. I think Pip says
It's never like
to.
tits. It was like something tits.
Yeah. Can't fucking understand
Like,
them.
what?
I think Pip says like, because this is after the argument with Robbie, and so I think Pip just says that she's like given up or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much Naomi's like,
I feel
don't
like
want to
Naomi,
give up because there's secrets.
yeah.
Like she's
I feel like Naomi is like, I want you to figure it out, and I
Mhm.
want you to like get the truth.
Yeah, because Naomi and Sal were friends at the end of the
I
day.
know. And whoever that third guy is,
So the random guy in the pictures, and that's just there, has no voice line whatsoever. I'm like,
you're not even introduced. I don't know your name.
I'm like, who are?
You're not even in the interview.
I'm like, Chop.
Who are you?
Who's that? I don't even know.
Is he the murderer? Oh my god. So like,
it's just like random guy.
He's like this. He's like, it was me.
I did it. Like,
They're
who the
like-
fuck are you?
They all look and they're like, who?
What's your
Who
name
are you?
again? Who invited you?
So she goes onto the laptop and she goes to her Naomi's room by herself.
Yeah.
Like pretty much like, fuck you, Kara. I'm gonna do this by myself.
Yeah.
Goes to her sister's bedroom, goes on there, types in a ring and titties. Whatever she types. And looks up an account, and it's Max Hastings' Instagram account.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like screenshots, and she's going through it, and she sees that Sal's alibi he did have an alibi, and in fact, he had been with his friends until after midnight on the night of Annie's disappearance. So first of all, that 12:30, it looked like it was like inserted in.
Yeah, it was cropped into the picture.
When I saw it, I was like, oh, did somebody like crop that in there to like make it look like
yeah. No, that was a real photo. And that whole thing, that whole thing kind of irritated me because I was like, anyone could have fucking taken that picture because Sal's not even fucking in it. So why is this even a piece of evidence?
If
like,
he was
not
in it, like if he was in it, that'd be more evidence.
Yeah, or like if there was a reflection of him taking the picture in the picture,
or
at
his
least
phone, something. But just because it's the three friends, yeah, it could have been anybody. Like anybody could have taken that picture. There could have been a fourth friend.
Could have been
like
a selfie stick.
Like what? It could have been propped up on a fucking
thing.
anything.
People are.
So she was like, he was there. 12:30. I was like, okay.
I don't know how. I wouldn't even have gotten that. Looking at it, I would have been like,
I would have been like,
moving on.
Like, yeah, I'm like,
this is bad Photoshop.
What? Yeah, I thought it was photoshopped in there to make an alibi.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Not it was the true alibi, but Pip then like is confused, I feel like, and she's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
She like goes to the school, goes to the dance to find Naomi and ask her like why she, Max, and Jake, that's the other guy.
That's the guy.
Had lied to the police saying that Sal left their group at like 10:30 that night.
Yeah.
And first of all, the part where I don't know if it's in this episode or it has to be episode 5.
Yeah.
But I love when like Naomi like finally tells, and she's like at the dance, and she's like crying.
Yeah. She's like fucking go. She's going through it.
So relieved that she finally told what happened.
Held that shit forever.
Oh my gosh. And then her sister's like, Oh, what is happening?
And what the fuck is going on? Pip, what did you do to my sister?
Yeah. So, okay, we're on episode 5. We're
Yeah.
like, okay, are we getting closer to finding out, who did it? So at the class reunion, Naomi reveals to Pip that she, Max, and Jake were involved in a drunk driving collision on New Year's Day in 2019, giving me total, like, I know what you did last summer vibe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was like, what is this?
Like, all right.
Max, who was driving the car, had called someone to like cover it up, and
Mhm.
Naomi further reveals that someone had blackmailed the 3 of them into telling the police that Sal left at 10:30.
Yep.
So they were gonna say the truth. They got a letter blackmailing them, pretty much saying like, if you tell anybody that he left later than he did, I will tell them about the car accident.
Yeah.
So then now it's like this whole thing, like, and then first of all, Max was like so angry when in the confrontation, and I love how Pip is like, I have proof.
Bitch. Yeah.
You're not scared?
Doesn't
Like, you're
even
not scared of
care.
this fucking guy?
This man just
Sorry.
said that he uses a picture of a dead girl
Yeah,
for
like,
reasons.
like
And
not
you're gonna confront him, and he
He
like
literally sat there, and she was like, I have the screenshots. Like, and he's like, you fucking bit, like all up in her face.
yeah.
I was like, dude. And then I like how he like hugs Naomi, like it's okay.
Yeah. Fucking weird ass
So
friends.
very weird. Nobody cares about the other guy, Jimmy.
Yeah, they don't care about it. He's just like, I'm just
he's probably going through it.
Yeah.
Who cares?
He really is.
So when she gets later on, she's trying to so she gets like another text message from whoever the killer, and is like investigating, and so she tries to like goat the killer, and she like does a video. She's like, I have proof of Sal, like that Sal is innocent, and I'm gonna share it on this day or whatever, right? And then the next day, during like her brother's birthday party, her dog goes, oh, she's looking everywhere for her brother. Where's Barney? And I was like, who the fuck is Barney?
Yeah, her dog.
And then she's like, they were on a hunt for this dog. Like, she was like, oh my god, the killer stole my dog.
Yeah.
And I know the difference in the book because I saw it, but like, so Barney ends up getting killed, like ran over. I was like, what the heck? Like, the killer literally killed the dog.
Yeah, so in the book, she's told, she gets a message and is told to destroy the evidence at a certain location where she will meet the person that sent the message. And so that way she can get her dog back. So Pippa goes there, destroys literally everything, and they still unalive the dog. Anyways.
They're throwing it in the lake, right?
Yeah.
Or something?
In the lake. And in the show, she posts about solving the case to scare the anonymous, whatever. And then they end up taking her dog. Or whatever. And then so she posts another thing, and she's like, JK, that never happened. I was just joking.
I know.
And then they still kill the dog anyways. And I was like, bitch, what did you think was gonna happen? Like, what did you think was gonna happen?
That's what she gets for being so ballsy and not thinking through. She just does what she does.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, so the killing of the dog was so sad.
So
oh my god, and when they had the tennis balls, they're like, here are all your tennis balls.
Yeah, I was like,
that's
really sad.
What is happening?
I know.
Okay, so distraught, she realizes that Max must have called Dan after the accident. The car accident. So the next day at school, she gets. Oh wait, hold on. I fast forwarded. So when Pip confronts Dan, so Pip literally goes to the police station.
Yeah.
And she's like, I need to talk to Dan. And the lady's like, okay. And like he comes out, and she's like, I need to talk to you about the car accident of 2019 or whatever. And she thinks that like she's got Dan, like it's Dan or whatever, and Dan pretty much tells her like, I was in a relationship with Andy, and Pip is like, she was only 15, like that's illegal, like what you did with Andy was not right. And he was like, I know. So like Max found out and held it as what is it? What do they call it?
Blackmail.
Yeah, blackmail Dan. So the night of the accident, that's who Max called, was Dan, and was like, you better come and fix the situation, or I'm gonna tell everybody that you were having a relationship with a minor.
Yeah.
And so then she's like, Pig was like, okay, so then you didn't kill Andy. And he's like, no. And I was like, okay, cross.
Yeah, like, all right, then that's my number
I was
one,
like,
guys,
what?
off
I was
the
literally like,
list.
who killed her?
Honestly.
I was like, who killed her? And so then the next day she has to go to school to take like her exams, I guess. That's what it seems like.
Mhm.
And as she's like done, her friends, they're all like, let's go to the house and watch a movie. My dad will drive us. And as she's walking, she gets a phone call, and on her caller ID, it says like older
Surprise. Yeah.
boyfriend.
It was like
And
secret older boyfriend question mark. And I was
yeah.
like,
And so when she answers it and I hear it and it's Naomi,
yeah.
I was like, Naomi? Which is, and I like, before, like, I was like trying to say it before it came out. And she's like, where did you get this phone? And Naomi goes, it's my dad's old phone.
Yeah.
So it's like the dad is the fucking secret older boyfriend. The creepy dad.
Mhm.
Creepy.
The one with the dead
teacher.
eyes. Yeah.
The teacher. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was literally like blindsided.
That
I
shit
was
was
like,
crazy.
wow.
Um,
So, oh god.
the episode I was just thinking about it. What episode was it where they talk about the dad and how he is with his family?
4.
Okay. I was just thinking about it. In the book, Pippa, she suspects that the dad killed Andy from the very
Mhm.
beginning. I think like chapter 2.
Is that her biological dad?
She's like, number one suspect is Andy's dad. Literally. And it's because in the book it's very
Andy's
detailed.
dad.
Yeah. In the book it's very detailed of how he treated his wife and kids. Like how it was like, it's detailed. Like the things that
Which
they
wasn't
would.
even like really given anything in the show. Like,
Yeah, in the show he's like, whatever.
just yelling. Like,
Yeah, just a
it's
yelling
like, you don't
father.
even.
He's not even that aggressive. But in the book,
Yeah.
he's like always yelling at his wife in front of the girls, and he's like
Mhm.
throwing things at stuff, I guess, and he's just like borderline
They
abusive.
didn't give him like any character base
Yeah,
at all.
they
in
gave
the
him
show.
nothing, which is like why
Like, the
would
whole
you?
thing,
It makes
the
it
whole point
doesn't
Andy is selling drugs is so she can get money to leave her
leave.
abusive her
Yeah,
father.
but like, why would you not show a backstory of her abusive father?
Yeah, flashbacks.
Yeah,
Something.
it makes no sense. So I don't know. I thought of that just now, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
No, but the guy at the hotel, the dad at the hotel wasn't Andy's dad. It was Pip's dad.
Yeah, Pip's dad was at the hotel.
Yeah.
And so is Naomi's
Because
dad.
yeah. And then like how Pip's dad was like, I wasn't having an affair. I just needed to get away.
Yeah.
all
Literally
you
was so tired of you guys.
Yeah. But yeah, they didn't give anything with Andy's dad. I
Yeah.
was when that storyline came out of her like wanting to leave because like her dad or whatever, I was like, who? Who's her
Yeah.
dad? Like,
Like it
who was
makes
her
no
dad?
sense.
Yeah. They didn't give any background on it at
No.
all.
None.
Okay, so when Pip gets the call, she realizes that it's Elliot, which is Naomi and Kara's dad.
Mhm.
And he's there giving them a ride to her house, to Kara's house, his house.
Yeah.
And he's pretty much like, oh, I have to go tutor. And I love how in the show she's like, how do you tutor all the time? We still don't have money.
Yeah, she hella calls him out, huh?
Yeah,
I
the
forgot
daughter.
about
She's like,
that.
how do you tutor all the time and we don't have money? And it's like, girl, because he ain't tutoring.
Mm-hmm.
Do another shit. I thought, okay, so then Pip decides to leave her phone in the car to track it, which is like so
Yeah.
brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
But so like she goes into Kara's house and they're all walking upstairs to go to the room and watch a movie, and she literally like sidetracks and goes into like the dad's study room and like goes on his computer goes on his computer, goes to like his most recent print history and like finds the day and was like, what day did I get this letter? Okay. Finds it and like prints the print and then like it's printed.
Like, she does not give a fuck.
And it's like the same one. And I was like, oh, first I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, it really is the dad.
Yeah.
And then I was like, she just did that?
Where
like,
are her friends?
Do it?
Like, her friends aren't questioning. There's only 3 of them. It's not like it was a huge group.
Yeah, and they're already in her room.
Yeah.
So like,
where did they think she went?
Like, what? The bathroom? What?
So wild.
And so she finds out, and so now she's like, the whole time is like tracking her phone on the laptop, and she's like, and you can tell she's like conflicted with her best friend Kara, because she's like, fuck, like her sister is already like part of an accident of a murder.
Mhm.
Her dad is a murderer.
Mhm.
Like, my best friend is like has the worst family ever.
The worst family.
So she finds where the dad ends up stopping, and it's like his old house. So he asks like she asks Kara like, hey, is this your old house or whatever? And she's like, yeah, we sold it, or right? And that's where the dad is. So she's literally like, oh my God, Andy's there. And I thought Andy was there. I was like, damn, he really has her like trapped for 5 years, like upstairs or downstairs in the basement. Like,
Yeah.
This guy is savage, like creepy. Like, I was like, what? I was like, she's been alive. And then I was like, damn. And I was like, dang, if she's been alive this whole time, and like Sal, like, unalived himself, I was like, that's so messed up. Like, this is what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, oh my gosh. So she pretty much is like tells Ravi, she's like this is what's happening. Like, I'm gonna go to the house, and I'm going to the house, and I'm gonna confront the dad.
I'm gonna confront the murderer. Listen, in the book, that didn't happen. So in the book, she leaves the phone and tracks it, but she shares her location with Ravi, leaves the house, goes to Ravi. They track the phone together, and then Ravi, or like Pip's like, I'm gonna go to the house and I'm gonna call the cops, and they'll come and get me, like, by the time after like I confront him and stuff. And Ravi's like, okay, then I'll stand by and make sure I track your phone, right, to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere and stuff like that. And then, but in the fucking show, Pip's like, I'm gonna do this shit myself. I'm an independent woman. I don't need you. This is what's happening, and you can't stop me. And like, that's it. And I was like,
yeah. And she's like, you're not gonna go there, Pip. And she's like,
I'm already here.
Like, fuck. She does not care. And so then she like gets to the house and she tries to open the car so she can grab her phone, which is locked. And then the dad sees her and is like, what are you doing here? And she's like, I know you. She's like, I know you did it. I know you killed
You
Andy.
did it.
And he's like, yeah. And he's like, come inside. And she's like, okay. Like, he's involved somehow, and you're just gonna go inside?
Yeah.
Like, the cops are already coming. Then go, what? Why? Then just wait outside for the cops. Why are you gonna go inside? Where's he gonna go?
Yeah, exactly.
So then she goes in the house and she confronts Elliot, and the house is like creepy. So gross. It's creepy, disgusting. And he initially confesses that he did have a romantic relationship with his student, Andy. But it ended when she started dating Sal, which is like so crazy. And and he's like, my wife just died. Like, tries to play all victim about it. Like, no, you're a creep. That's a student. You're creepy.
Yeah.
And he later reveals that months later, Andy approached him and tried to blackmail him for money. And he was like, no, I'm not going to pay you. And they fought. And then Andy had fallen. He said he like pushed her, like shoved her, I guess. And she fell and like hit her head on the counter. And that's like in the very beginning when you see her walking, she's like bleeding on the back of her head. And that's from that situation. And then he says, though, he went to call an ambulance, but when he came back, she had already left. So he's admitting that he did have a relationship with Andy. She hurt herself at his house, but when he went to call the ambulance, she had already left. And
Yeah.
in my mind, I was like, dude, you're not even gonna try to go after her? Like, what the like what?
Yeah.
Just gonna let her leave.
In the book, Andy pretty much like voices that she hates Mr. Ward like a lot,
Mhm.
because in the book Mr. Ward finds out that he like about Andy's bullying tactics and stuff,
Mhm.
and he threatens to report her if she doesn't stop, and that's what causes like the altercation. But
Oh.
in the they're
So did they
still
have a
they did have
relationship?
a relationship, but like
Okay.
towards the end, like he found out that she was bullying all these students and Nat and stuff.
You're really gonna like what's right and wrong?
Yeah, and I think in the book maybe she does ask him, like blackmail him for money and stuff to like
Probably.
get out of
In the
the
book,
situation and
it
stuff. But
literally is not surprise because she's like bully.
yeah, when we get to the last episode, there's another point that I had to make about another
Okay.
altercation she has. But yeah, so in the
Okay.
book, she pretty much just constantly voices that she hates Mr. Ward, and Pip never understood why everyone always said that about Andy,
Mhm.
and it's because of that. But also because they
Okay.
probably had a relationship and it just wasn't going the way that Andy wanted it to.
Wanted. Yeah. So then Pip literally was like about to give up. Like she was about to be like, all right, so then you're not the murderer. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
you saw in her face. She was just like, oh my God, like, what am I doing? And then she hears tapping on the pipes right next to her. And I was like, oh my God, it's Andy.
Mm-hmm.
Like Andy's there. Did you think that Andy was there?
I
Or
didn't
did
think
you know
Andy was
she
there, but I thought that another girl was there.
I was like, "Oh my God." And so she assuming it's Andy, Pip goes to the attic. Like homeboy just sits there and he's like, "Don't go.
Yeah,
No,
stop,
please."
please don't.
And she's like racing up. She goes to the attic. She goes up there and a woman is there and
Mm-hmm.
she's like, "Andy." And she steps out. She's like, "I'm not Andy." But it's somebody who looks like
Yeah,
Andy. And the dad, Elliot, like closes the attic and literally like, traps Pip inside
yeah.
with the girl. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, what is at this point, I'm just like, what is happening? Who killed Andy?
Yeah.
What is going on? Who is this girl?
Who's this
I was
random ass
so,
girl?
I
I
was
thought it
so like,
was when I saw Andy, or when I saw that one chick, I don't even know what her name is. I
yeah,
thought
yeah,
that
yeah.
she was Andy, and then that's when she's like, "No, I'm not Andy." But then
Yeah,
when I heard the tapping, I was like, "Oh, he probably has some like he probably like
another.
has another girl up there and told her to hide or some shit." You know
Oh
what I
my
mean?
God.
Like when he heard Pip
Yeah.
coming. But
And then
it was
I had
weird.
thought, okay, so when it was revealed that it was Edward, the teacher, Elliot, I mean, the
Mm.
teacher who had a relationship with Andy, and then I started thinking about the flashbacks that we keep seeing of like young Pip, Andy, and what's his name?
So
Sal. And how I was like, where does she go when after she goes like this, like where does she go? You know what I mean? What is that? Did she leave? And then I realized, like, no, that's his, I was
classroom.
like, that's his classroom. So in my brain, I was like, wait, did she walk in there to talk to the teacher and then Sal caught them together and Sal did, you know what I mean? I was like, and then Sal did murder him? Like, that's what I was thinking. Because I was like,
Yeah.
that's the classroom. But it wasn't it.
No. No, it wasn't.
So, okay, so we're on the final episode, episode 6. I was like, oh my God, we're finally here. Like, who killed Andy Bell?
Yeah.
So the woman in the attic is a girl named Isla, and she tells Pip that she's been homeless, and Elliot offered to let her stay at the house because Elliot drove by and thought it was Andy. Which is so creepy, so stalker.
Mhm. Yeah.
And like she's telling Pip that evening he confessed to her, to Isla, that he had murdered somebody, and it's later to reveal that he murdered Sal,
Mhm.
boyfriend of Andy, to prevent the police from investigating him for Andy's disappearance. I was like, not
I
Sal. I
know.
was so shocked.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this guy is crazy. So Elliot tells Isla that he like convinced Sal to go to the woods where he drugged and killed him before
Mhm.
sending the false confession to using Sal's phone. In my brain, I was like, that makes sense because like he's an English teacher and the way he texted was very punctual, very
Mhm.
teachery. You know what I mean?
Very like to the
And
point.
yes,
Mhm.
and then he pretty much kept Isla trapped in the house for like 5 years.
My God.
After that, I was like, oh my god, like, I can't believe he killed Sal.
Yeah. That was a
I was
twist.
That was a twist, and that was so sad. I was so sad for, like, Sal, for Ravi, for his, like, family,
Mhm.
like, so unjust. I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
So, the police end up showing up and arresting Elliot, even though he still denies he killed Andy. So, realizing that Elliot could not have been the one who abducted Barney the dog, because Pip was, like, looking through and saw that Elliot and the two daughters, her best friend, were, like, out of town or something. I think, like, looking at colleges, or
Mhm.
they weren't anywhere near the birthday party. So she's like, Elliot couldn't have killed Barney, which means he's not the killer because whoever the killer is killed my dog,
Yeah.
right? So Pip, the balls that she has, goes to the police station, and she can just go and talk to this
Wherever.
like
Yeah.
kidnapper and confronts him at the police station. And he later reveals that he was the one who blackmailed Naomi, his daughter, and her friends because he learned about the hit and run from Naomi's diary.
So
Like
dumb.
he read her diary, found out about it because
Yeah.
he's like, Naomi has been different since the beginning of 2019. I didn't know what it was. So I read her diaries and I found out what happened,
Mhm.
and I'm trying to protect my daughters.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah, that's
I was
fucking
just like,
wild.
okay, that's the end of that storyline, I guess.
Yeah. There's a closing. Moving
Yeah,
on.
I was like, all right. And then Elliot also shares that he believes Andy wanted money because she wanted to run away from her abusive father. So I was like, that I was at this point, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Abusive father? Like,
That's the
who was
part.
even her dad?
Mhm.
And Pip later learns from Jesse, who was the employee who was the person who saved her at the calamity party, right?
Yeah.
And Jesse was, like, at the recycling plant that, like, Pip was at. Why was Pip there? Why was Pip there? She was, like, following Jason, the dad's workplace.
Okay.
That's why Pip went to that, like, recycling place.
I
You
don't
know what
even
I'm talking
remember
about?
that.
Oh god, girl.
I
Yeah.
know.
So, uh, Pip learns from Jesse that Andy's sister Becca was once drugged at the calamity party with roofie, was pretty much roofied, right? And Pip finds out that Max uses the roofies. Like, he's the one who bought them off Andy Bell.
Mhm.
And it was him who assaulted Becca, right? At the
Yes,
calamity
yeah.
party.
Mhm.
And Becca tells Pip that Andy wants. Oh, wait. Was it? Becca tells Pip that Andy. Oh, okay. So now Pip, the balls that she has, she goes to like Becca's house. She's like,
Yep.
Becca, like, hey girl, what's up? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
And she's pretty much like, I know what happened. I know what Max did, but like, what's happening, right? And Becca pretty much tells Pip, like, I went home that night or whatever. I told my sister about it, and my sister Andy told me not to call the police, not to report it because it would implicate Andy because she was the one who provided the drugs to Max,
Yeah.
right? And upon learning that, Andy had been planning to run away from home. So she like also told Becca, like, I'm planning to run away from home. Like, I don't want to be here with my dad and blah blah blah. And Becca just felt so like hurt and abandoned that she like, ends up pushing Andy, who was already hurt from Elliot, and like killed her.
Yep.
Dun dun dun.
In
It
the
was Becca.
book,
Her sister. Her
I know her
sister
sister was
was
the
the.
one that did it. Fucking
I was
wild.
like, Becca?
I know.
I was like, I did not see that coming.
In the book, that altercation happens, but Andy is like, I don't give a fuck, but you can't say shit, right? Like that's how.
Yeah.
Very true to Andy in the book.
Oh my
Okay, Andy is
god.
like, I don't
So
give
like
a
Becca's
fuck,
like, this
Becca.
happened to me. Like
Yeah,
Becca's like, this happened to me at the party, and Andy's like, who cares?
yeah. Um, yeah,
That's what
so
you get. Why
Becca
did you go?
tells Andy what happens. Andy's like, well, you
And
probably shouldn't be hanging around with those people. You probably shouldn't be at that place. That's not my fucking
mm,
problem. But you can't tell them because I'm the one that sold them the drugs. And if you tell them,
yeah,
then, you know, you're going down with me type shit. And then she goes,
yeah.
and I'm going to leave and you're not coming with me. And Becca was like, bitch. And you
What a bad older sister. Andy was the
yeah.
older sister, right?
Hmm.
Like, what a bee.
Literally.
What a bitch.
And then in the show, obviously that whole altercation
And
happens, but Andy's apologetic and she's like, I'm sorry,
yeah,
but you
she's
can't. Like,
very
I
good.
really don't want you to do this. Like, I know, blah, blah, blah. And
She's
I was like,
trying to. Yeah, she's like, I'm trying to like get money so I could leave. Like, girl, you're trying to. Your sister just got messed with.
yeah. And
Is
you're
trying
not
to
going to
go to
take her with
you.
you?
You're not even gonna take her to travel with you and sell. Like, you're just gonna leave your sister there.
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's fucking wild. But yeah, she dies in the same way, though. She
Yeah, she pushes her.
she starts bleeding, throws up, fucking seizes. Like, she does all that stuff.
Oh my god.
Hmm.
So and then Becca's like, I can take you where I hit her body.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
And then Pip is like, okay. Or she's like, do you want to see where I put her body? And Pip is like, yeah. She's like, okay, finish your tea. And I was like, girl, she drugged you. What do
Yeah.
you mean? Don't finish that. And she's like, okay. Like, drinks her drink. And she's like, let's go. And she's like, okay, come on. Like, get on my Fiat. Let's go. And Becca takes Pip to where she hit Annie's body, which is in like a septic tank, which is so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I hit her body here. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're freaking crazy. And in the middle
Her
of
and her
like
dad.
her dad, and Elliot Ward.
Yeah. All
They're
the
all
everyone. Everyone's fucking crazy.
that whole town is crazy. You need
Fucking
to leave.
psychotic.
Please
Pip,
move.
take Robbie and get the fuck out.
Yeah, Robbie is ready to go. He was
Yeah.
ready to leave,
Yeah.
and you were like, "No, we have to finish this case." Like Robbie's like, "What are you talking about?" Like, we got him. What do you? Let's move
Robbie's
on.
like,
And she's
what the
like,
fuck?
"No." Oh my god. So in the middle of like Becca pretty much showing Pip like, this is where I hit my sister's body because I didn't know what to do with it. Pip starts feeling all drugged, and she's pretty much like, and this is where you'll go to.
Oh yeah. She said, you and her. I said, oh my god, she does not feel bad. She said, I did it
I was
once, I
like,
could do it again.
she's like, nobody will care. Nobody cares about me. Nobody cares like what Max did. But like, what? I just was like shocked. I was like, dang, girl, like
And
you
the way
do not
she looks
care.
too in the show is so like, you did it.
Yeah. I
She's
was like,
crazy.
what?
Yeah.
Oh my god, wait, I do love the part where it's like okay, so when we find out that earlier in the episodes, when we find out that Andy was the one selling drugs, and there's all these flashbacks of like, you think it's Andy's perspective at the party, and she's like, people are going up to her and like talking to her and like doing, at the calamity party, and then it's revealed that that person was not Andy, but it was Becca.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Where
Yeah.
it's like Becca's perspective. I was like, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
I was like, Max is gross.
Yeah. I mean, we knew that.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, but so she's pretty much like, you're gonna go down here with my sister. Like,
Since you care
Pip
so
was like,
much.
yeah, like Pippa's like all drugged up and she's like ready to die. And Robbie and Kara like arrive just in time and save Pippa
Yeah.
from Becca. And Pippa's like, no, she's escaping. And they're like, don't worry, the cops are outside. Like, she's not gonna go
Yeah,
anywhere.
she can't.
And she literally gets arrested for the murder. And then there's like a flashback that shows that like Andy, the day that Andy went missing, Sal had been looking for her so that he could support her plans to run away from home. Like, we
Yeah.
see them go into the classroom, and she's like, my dad won't let me, like, I need to get money. And Sal is just like, I'll help you. Like,
Yeah.
Sal really loved her. I did not hurt with Andy's death, but I
I felt
hurt
bad
with
for
Sal.
Sal. I felt more bad
Oh
for
my
Sal than I
God.
did with Andy.
Yeah.
It was really sad.
I did too. I was
He's just
like, damn.
he was an innocent. He was like such an innocent
Total
bystander through the
innocent.
entire thing. Like he was
Innocent.
not in any of her shit.
No, I
And then
felt so
yeah.
bad. And then there's like Pip and Ravi also confess their feelings for each other.
Which is so fucking weird. I would not have called it.
I was like, wait, I thought she was gay.
I
was like,
didn't. I feel like that was so. I don't know if it happened in the book or not, but I feel
yeah,
like that
they
was
do.
just so unnecessary.
They say in the book, because I read the review, they said in the book that there was more chemistry up for them in the book. If you have to believe it based on the way it's read, you're like, I don't know how they could show chemistry, but
Literally, it's just like reading text messages.
they said that there's chemistry for them in the book, but like in the show, there was like no chemistry at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
All. It was very like, okay. Oh, but then also at the end, she like tells Max, or Max is like, I'm waiting for an apology. And she's like, no, because you did this, and I'm gonna stop you, and I'm gonna like show everybody that you've been doing all this stuff, and you're like literally threatens Max. Remember at the end?
Yeah.
I
I
was
do remember
like,
that.
whoa.
She does not give
I was
a
like,
fuck. Listen,
no. I was
she
like, dude,
does.
he will throw you in that septic tank where Becca was gonna throw you.
Yeah. Him and
He's
Becca were
crazy.
like this with their minds. Like
I was like, that'd be cool. I mean, if they were like together. Well,
if
no,
they did
because
it together, but he did
yeah,
that thing to
like,
her.
yeah, I forgot.
He's
I
just a
forgot for
weirdo all around. Like
I forgot.
he's just an overall
I'm,
fucking creep. Nobody likes him.
I'm I guess. You wish.
You fucking wish.
But that's the show.
Hmm.
So, what do you rate the show?
I gave it a 2.5. The show.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan
I
of the show.
literally give it also a 2.5. I was gonna say 3.5, but it really was a struggle for me to watch.
I didn't like it very much. And I
I
was like,
feel like it was slow. I feel the pace was slow. They got me every time at the very end to make me go on to the next episode. I will give them that part. But it was slow. There was some unnecessary storylines that I felt like wasn't needed. And probably the last episode, maybe the last two, it started getting good when she found out that the dad had the burner phone, or it was the dad's burner phone. From that moment to the very end, I was like, boom, we're in it. Let's finish it. Let's find out who the killer is, what is happening. Everything before that was very slow paced.
yeah. And that's why I say it definitely could have been a movie, because all of
Yeah.
that extra stuff to fill the episodes in the season was just
45 minutes.
unnecessary. It was really unnecessary. And
Did
did we ever find out what happened to the dog?
No, she doesn't even say that she did anything with the dog.
Like,
it doesn't even show, like, Becca doesn't even, it doesn't even give the perspective of Becca where she's like, this is what I'm
your dog's in here too. Like, bitch.
He steps on a bee. Or...
Yeah. I feel like the show could have been a movie. If it was a movie, I probably would have liked it better, because then I could have watched it all in one swoop.
I would have liked if, it's very cliche, but I would have liked if, like, Pip was like, why at the end? And she's like, this is why we know, and this is what I did. Like, she's like, but the Texas, Barney, my dog. And then she could have been like, it could have shown, like, it could have given total, like, Pretty Little Liar vibes of, like, flashbacks.
Yeah.
Of, like, everything that happened. But it didn't.
It didn't. It was a missed opportunity. There was a lot of
they could have added more.
There was a lot of plot lines that still were left unclosed. Like, there was a lot of issues that, like, who's that random guy in the picture with them, their extra friend? What does he know? Does
Yeah.
he know something? She didn't even interview him. Like,
No.
she's
She
like,
was
I
like,
know you know nothing. I'm gonna talk to the creeper guy that has pictures of
you don't
nudes.
even have a line. Thank you.
Yeah, don't talk to me. My brother has a line, and he's in bed all day.
Yeah, he does have a line. His line is like, ugh.
Yeah, he's literally like Pip, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god. So, if you want to go through the pop culture facts that I put in there.
Okay, so for pop culture references, we pretty much talked about like the pacing issue where like many people just like us found that the initial episodes were slow.
Mhm.
Literally the first like 4 episodes, they just were so slow. The only thing
Yeah.
good about those episodes were like the ending where it was like cliffhanger, because then it's like, okay, you have to watch the next
Mhm.
episode. And
Mhm.
so a lot of people felt that same way about it, and it lacked like the dramatic tension for like the type of vibe that show is in that book, like a thriller. You would kind
Mhm.
of expect more, but there wasn't so much. So some reviews noted that it took until like the 3rd episode for the plot to pick up, which can be a significant drawback for a limited
Yeah.
series like that. So
That's like
yeah, so
half the series
yeah,
already.
so we're not the only ones that kind of think that way.
Mhm.
And then there's also the character portrayals. So the cast received praise for their performances, but some characters didn't align with like the fans' expectations from the books. So like Pip and Ravi, for example, they had chemistry. What? Pip and Ravi had chemistry issues that disappointed some viewers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know because I didn't read the book, so I don't know if they even had chemistry. I only read one
Yeah.
interview with them, and Ravi was like, "Bitch, I don't even want to do this," and Pip is like, "How do you know your brother?" Like, it was some dumb shit. So like, people are upset because the issues between Pip and Ravi and their whole relationship.
Mhm.
Um, but like other characters like Max, they were well received through like how they are. And I feel like if I read the book and I read how Max
Like, I
was, I would be
feel
like,
like
yeah, this is that guy.
this actor was like, "I'm going all in.
I like that
Going
actor.
full I'm going full Chuck Bass on this
Yeah,
fucking show."
when you watch My Lady Jane,
Wait, okay.
he's so
Is he a main
funny.
character?
He's like not like a main, but
Reoccurring?
he's the brother of the main guy.
Okay, so he's reoccurring at least though? It's not
Yeah,
like a
he's
one
yes,
time?
yes, yes. He's reoccurring,
Okay.
and he's so funny, and it's
Okay.
so bad, but it's so good.
How long is the
That
book?
show is so good. The book is like the same size as this book, The Good Girls
Okay.
Guide to Murder. It's
I
not a
probably
thick
wanna do
one,
both. Okay.
but it's so funny. He's
Okay.
such a he's such a
I
character.
have to watch. I
I
have to
move
watch.
on.
Okay. I'm gonna watch.
Yes, watch it, please. It's on Prime. And then another one for the pop culture references is the soundtrack and the production quality.
Yeah.
So the soundtrack was amazing. I liked the
It
soundtrack.
was.
I
I
was a
was
fan
like,
of it.
"Ooh, me too."
It
I liked it.
definitely added like a point for me liking the show was the fact that it was
Mhm.
and then what?
Oh, I was gonna say, like, a soundtrack can make a difference.
Yeah,
You know what I
100%.
mean?
Yeah. So the
To
choice
make
of
a
songs.
lot.
What?
It might view for it didn't make a lot of difference, but it definitely went from a 2 to a 2.5.
Yeah, exactly. So the song
That's how I rate it.
exactly by the songs. And that's it. The choice of
And
songs
that's on what?
contributed.
Murder
Period.
period.
Oh, not the murder period.
The pin. The pin.
The
Pin
pin.
board.
And that's on what? And that's on a pin with a red string. That's it.
That's on a pin.
And that's on pin. Stupid. So the choice of songs contributed significantly to the viewing experience, which enhanced pivotal
Mhm.
scenes, especially a lot of like the dramatic
Yeah.
scenes or like just
There
scenes
was
of
one
her like at the freaking what is the name of those parties? The Calamity.
The
Fucking name.
calamity.
The songs during that scene I didn't mind either, and it really fit the
There's
vibe.
whatever scene Owl Nation or AWOL Nation sail.
Yeah.
I don't remember the scene exactly, but whatever scene that was when that song came on, I was like, What?
Sail.
Wait, look it up. Can you look it up real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. And then also you had Billie Eilish, You Should See Me in a Crown, that song too. I was like, whoa.
I want to say, okay, are you watching are you watching Agatha?
No, not yet.
I
I'll
won't
talk to you
say
about
that.
it.
I won't say it because that
Okay.
song is in it and it's so good.
Okay.
They
I
put it
know
in
people
at
are
the perfect
saying
time.
I'm waiting. We might start watching it now that there's a couple
You
episodes.
really should because it's so good.
Okay. I'll tell Jose we'll watch it this week.
See if I can.
I'm like, don't put me back on Netflix to look at this damn show.
I can't remember.
Let's see.
Try to look it up on YouTube.
What scene does the song Sail play in A Good Guy? In A
Battery
Good
low.
Girl's Guide to Meda. Okay, they say it's in episode 3. Episode 3? What episode is that?
It was me. I did it. I'm so sorry.
That's when they're trying to find the calamity party.
Illiterate.
Question.
Oh, I want to watch Outer Banks. Oh, and Lonely. Oh, there's all this new stuff on Netflix. Bad Boys, Ride or Die.
Yeah, Dad said that one was good.
Oh, I need to watch it.
I don't know.
Okay.
I can't find the scene on here, but it gave me just the soundtrack, and I was like, okay. The Feminine
Wait,
Urge. That one
What
was
is
a
the
good
show
one,
called?
too.
Girl's Guide to Murder.
What?
Episode 3. I'm pulling it up right now because I want to see on my phone.
Okay,
And then you can pull it Netflix.
Yeah.
I remember it was like at a cool part. I was like, whoa.
Where the hell?
Like, Karen. Episode 3 where? Oh, wait, I thought it was so cute, the part where he's like, we need quieter
It's in the
snack.
beginning. We're stupid. It's literally
Okay.
in the beginning. I had to fucking restart it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, play it. Where she's listening to the headphones.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's in the flashback. Yeah, this was some good. I was like, oh, okay. I fast forwarded.
Andy sold drugs.
Yeah.
How do you know?
This whole thing's stupid.
He was one of her customers. She sold him a
Fucking
slam.
God.
So I hated drugs.
Naomi's so crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
God.
Hot and sweaty and
He's so I read too much smut to like think normal in that scene.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's it changes you.
He really, really
My brain is like altered.
Yeah,
when this I was like, oh
the
shit. Like,
song,
that's cool.
that song is so good.
Yeah.
It's
No,
such
but
a good
seriously,
song.
like I'm so into like I can't even. When I tell you, when I read Twisted Games, I was like, is this like Princess Diary 2?
Oh my God. Storytelling?
Like, what? Oh my gosh, so good. Okay, yes, the soundtrack really like made it. It brought my rating of 2 to 2.5.
Yeah, I liked the soundtrack a lot. It was good. But
Not good enough to be like,
yeah, it wasn't like a 5-star for me.
it just was
It's
good.
crazy too because as like an add-on for the pop culture references on Book Talk, this book is raved about. Like people love this book, and it's especially right now it's making a comeback because of it being October. So people love to do murder mysteries, thrillers, spooky stuff for their October TBRs that they'll read for the month. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna add this in there because I really want to see what the hype is about. We're gonna talk about it. I'm excited. I was like,
You
we gonna
were
find
very
out.
excited. I know. You did not go
I
far.
did not like it.
You have to let me borrow it this weekend, and I want to see if I could read it.
Yeah, you can have
Okay.
it.
Okay.
I
I'll
don't
add it
want
to my collection.
Yeah,
My
I don't
little
want it.
collection back here. Look,
It's not for me.
it can go right there, right in the middle.
There it is.
That gap right there.
I mean, like maybe I'll read it at some point again in the future. Probably not though. 'Cause
Try
it's
it. I will try to read it.
Yeah, try to read it and
see
see
if I
how
can-
far you get.
Okay.
Because I feel like now after you've watched the show, when you read this,
I have
you
faces.
have yeah,
Yeah.
and then you're like, who the fuck is Stanley?
I'll put my own person.
Yeah, just imagine some.
Really
random-
with the
I just
C.
imagined. I imagined. Do you
It's Stanley with a C.
have you seen Monsters, the Menendez brothers?
No.
Okay, there's a reporter on that in that show that's very
Mhm.
reoccurring. He's like old man with glasses. That's who I imagine Stanley
That's
being.
Stanley.
So
I'll figure out.
just
I'll
look him
put a
up
name
and then
face.
use that
Okay.
face. 'Cause that's what I imagined. But
Oh
yeah, that is
gosh.
all for the pop culture references. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
That
well,
was good.
thank you for joining us this week for a decent girl's guide to murder. That's what I'll call it.
Yeah. Next week we are taking it back to 1983 with a classic raw doll.
Raw doll.
Raw doll, baby. Classic raw doll book, The Witches, which I am
Woo!
very excited for. I
Mhm.
remember getting this book at like the Scholastic Book
Book fair.
Fair.
I remember getting it then
And
too.
I loved this book. This book is very creepy, but I loved it.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I like that one
Mm.
better than this one.
I could read that all day.
Yes, so we are going to talk about the book, and then we're going to do the 1990 and the 2020 adaptation, which I like. The 2020 adaptation I'm excited for because of Anne Hathaway, and I love Anne Hathaway.
Have you seen it?
I have, yeah.
Okay. I love Anne Hathaway too. Princess Diaries.
I know.
I love Anne Hathaway. Remember seeing this movie when it first came out. I liked it still. It was creepy.
Yeah.
There was a lot of differences there's a lot of differences from this movie to the 1990 movie, which obviously the 1990 movie I feel is more connected with the book. It's right there, it's close by. The 1990 movie gave me nightmares.
Yeah. That one was
I love it.
very scary.
I
really good.
love that book. I love that movie.
It was good.
And I liked the 2020 adaptation one too. So, The Witches 2020 movie is available for a fee right now. YouTube, Apple TV, Amazon Prime. I think all your streaming channels you have to pay to watch it.
Yep.
And then same with The Witches 1990 movie. Maybe you could find it on like Tubi or YouTube.
I think you might find it on Tubi.
Yeah, Tubi's got a lot of like the odd
older movies and such.
Yeah, because it's been a while since I've seen that one, but it's like instilled in my brain. Like there are scenes from that movie that is like implanted in my brain, like I can never unsee.
Yeah,
it's creepy.
I know what you mean. But yeah, I'm excited for that one. And so
Me too.
The book is available at your local bookstore, Barnes and Nobles. You can probably get it at like Target, Walmart, any place that they sell books. I'm sure they'll have it.
If your child has a Scholastic Book Fair going on,
they'll
it's
have
probably
it there, most likely, because we had it on ours. So
yes,
you can get them there. You can also get it on Kindle if you have your Kindle, and then also on Audible. And if you don't have Audible, we do have a 30-day free trial that you can go ahead and use, and it gives you 1 free credit that you can put on any book. And so you can do it on A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, or The Witches, or whatever you want to read. It's free, so why not do it? It's for 30 days, and if you like it, every month you'll continue to get a free credit with your subscription, so it's worth it, honestly. We both have
I'm literally waiting.
It's great.
October 15th is my free credit, and I'm trying to jump onto the Lights Out book. I bought the book, but everybody on Book Talk is saying you have to have the audio for Lights Out. So I am just like waiting. I'm just like,
Yeah. I've heard the audio is really good.
waiting.
I've heard
I
clips and
know.
snippets
I'm
of the audio, and I'm like,
waiting. I have the book and I'm like, I'm ready. Like October 15th. Come on.
yeah, it's close.
And wait,
You got 4 more
I
days.
know. I'll be listening to it at work.
Oh my god.
When I'm at work, I listen to my Audible, and then when I'm home, I'll jump off my Audible, like when I'm settled, and then I'll read the book.
Yeah.
But like
Makes
that's
sense.
how I finished. That's how I finished.
The Ravenhood
Reminders of
series.
Him,
Oh,
the Ravenhood series, but also Reminders of Him. I started it at like 9 a.m. at work
yeah.
on my Audible. Worked on the drive, listened to it. Got home, was cooking, listening to it, and then by 11 p.m. I was like on the final like 3 chapters, and I just
Yeah.
read it.
Reading
So
has
good.
consumed her, and I am so proud.
I'm obsessed.
It's so good.
Obsessed. So we hope you enjoyed our dive into the twists and turns of the story. I really thought at the beginning when we decided to do this podcast back in September, August, this was on our list. It was top on our list.
Mhm.
And we were both very excited to watch the show, read the book, and I'm really surprised that we're doing this episode and we were both like 2.5.
Yeah. It's not a
Struggle.
vibe.
DNF, you didn't even finish
I
the book.
didn't even finish the book. I posted a video
Yeah.
about it on my book talk, and I was like,
I saw.
I've never ever finished. I've never ever fully DNF'd a book ever in my life. I've always pushed.
There's a first.
yeah.
There's a first.
There's books that I hate that's on my bookshelf, but I finished it because I was like, I
Yeah.
have to fucking finish. I spent money on this.
Yeah.
I need to finish this. I could not get myself to finish this book.
Oh my god.
And that's how you know I really did not like it, because like I just couldn't
Yeah.
even force myself to do it. I was like, I'm just gonna give it away as a Christmas gift, so it's gonna be wrapped
And
for you.
And I knew, like, on Instagram, if you follow us on Instagram at
Mhm.
official page to picture, we follow a bunch of other I would say bookstagram
Bookstagram.
people on there. And a lot of people, it's like you said, it's on their list. They read it for the month of October. People love it. And I've been commenting like, we're doing an episode on it. We are struggling. And people are like surprised. Like, why? Why is it a struggle? It was a struggle.
Yeah.
It's just not our vibe.
But reading is very, very, very subjective, because one
Mhm.
person could be their 5-star, 6-star read, and they could love it
Yeah.
forever and swear up and down it's the best book ever.
Yeah.
And then you have someone like me that's like, I can't even get past chapter 6
That
because this
is
bitch cannot stop writing her
me.
essay, and her works cited isn't even accurate. So
That is me with the Ravenhood series.
yeah, that's your 6-star read.
That was like my welcome to the world of book talk.
Mhm.
Here you go. Like I read Bridgerton. I've read, and
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. I'm with everybody.
Yeah.
I read the Ravenhood series, and I'm just like,
I need
Team
more.
Dominic,
Yeah.
Team Sean, get me tatted up. I want tattoos.
He said I want
like,
ravens all over me.
Please, like obsessed.
Yeah.
And that was like my into like the book talk worlds, and now I'm on the Twisted Games. I'm so
Welcome. I love
Thank
it.
you. But don't forget to subscribe,
Mhm.
leave a review. I would love to really see people's reviews and thoughts about this book, especially to our book talk community. Like,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts? Did you end up liking the show? If you read the book, like, did you end up enjoying the show? Was the show a struggle to watch? I'd really love everyone's opinions on it. So
Yeah.
don't forget to subscribe and leave a review and 5 stars.
Yes. And we are on every platform that you could possibly think of. So our video is posted on YouTube, and then we
Mhm.
have our audio podcast, which would be on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, iHeartRadio, literally everything.
Everything. Anywhere you get your we're on Audible. Did you say
Yeah.
Audible?
Amazon.
I was like, oh my god. Yeah, I was like on my Audible with my books, and then I was like, oh, podcast. And I went and I saw it. So I was like, ad.
Yeah, so we're on there too. So honestly, you can get us anywhere. We're very easy to find. We have our social medias. We have our Instagram, our TikTok, Twitter. So follow us there for any updates on our upcoming episodes, our current reads that we're reading right now, any of that good stuff. So yeah, we're around.
Yeah, follow us. Our social media isn't just about the podcast. We do talk about our personal book reads, my personal book reads, Tiff's personal book reads, our thoughts. We share a lot of people's stories. I found other podcast groups on Instagram, so shout out to them. I've been following them, showing the love and support. And then also we have, I think it's like an ARC. What's an ARC?
An ARC is an advanced reader's copy. And so
Yeah.
authors will write their books, and before it's released out into the world for
Oh,
everyone to read, they will send them
those
out
are
to
fun.
readers. Yeah, they'll send it out to readers for them to review, do an honest review
Yeah.
on what
We're
it's like and
like,
stuff. So
send them our way.
I
We have
did
a couple.
an
We have a
ARC.
couple for us.
Mhm.
Me too. We have a
Yeah.
couple.
I've done one
Um,
before and I liked it. I worked with the author. I gave her my own feedback, and then I'm working on a video for it now. So
I love it. Yeah, give it, reach out. We'll reach out too, and we'd love to give you a shout out, an ARC shout out. That'd be
yeah,
fun
we can have a
at
little
the end.
ARC
Little segment.
corner.
Yeah. Oh,
I
it's
know.
so
An ARC
cute.
corner. It's cute. I love it.
Aw. Okay, I love it. We'll do
Yeah.
that. Okay. All right. Well, thank you everyone for this episode. Yeah, see you next week when we talk about witches. I'm really excited for it. We're
Are
almost done with
you
October.
gonna dress up?
As a witch?
Yeah.
As a witch or as their form of witch?
I'm gonna dress up as a rat.
Okay.
A mouse.
I'll dress up as a witch then.
Okay, I'll be the mouse and you be the. I'm gonna put the little thing and then some whiskers.
Okay, I'll dress up as a witch. And then we're almost done with October.
I know. Months goes by fast.
We have this. What do we have coming up?
Witches. It.
Witches that we're doing and it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the end of October. And then we're going to jump into November's.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm excited.
Me too.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.